Alrighty, hello every folks, and good morning. So welcome to a kind of a first impressions kind of thing for sort of Convallaria, whose demo came out recently. So realistically, hell, you don't need my impressions; just go try it out yourself. But this has been an interesting one to look at. Because it's a game that feels like it's being pulled in a lot of different directions at once. So I wanted to just kind of give some initial thoughts here, some initial impressions and all that kind of thing. So first and foremost, let me just say, on a technical level, I really like what they did here. In fact, a lot of the visuals, a lot of the little flares and everything else are the kinds of stuff that people kept swearing at me were in Triangle Strategy that they never really did anything with. But as far as making a whole lot of use of the kind of like 2D at an angle type aesthetic, they really do a lot of stuff here. Like, a lot of the environments you'll notice are very active and vibrant. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I really love the amount of not direct interactivity, but kind of sort of interactivity. Let me show you what I mean. So, like, let's say we go out, we go back into our thingy here. We go to Voyage. So, like, basically, this is just the Void. We just have a sweet apartment in the Void. You just kind of hang out and meditate and presumably look at the stuff you've accomplished or whatever else. This this location reminds me so much of the upper half of the screen in Final Fantasy Tactics A2. I it's the little details, like specifically like all the wood accents everywhere, the bookshelves, all that kind of thing. I don't know if I doubt it was directly a reference to that, but either way, it reminded me a lot of that. So let's go ahead and get going here. So Spiral is basically the section of the story that we're at right now. I don't know if there's a different section for every one of these. And additionally, before we go any further, because I'm going to forget that it exists, there's a gotcha version of this game and a single player version of this game. As far as I've seen, several hours in at this point, I haven't seen that phone version. There is still a little bit of the flavor left over, but it has not asked me for a credit card once, and frankly, that just feels good. It's just nice to see one of these where, effectively, the suckers get to pay for the thing, and everybody else gets to just play it. So, anyway, let's get to it here. So, okay. So first and foremost, what I mean by interactivity. So you'll notice on the bottom right where it says like quests available. So if you select to go to the thing, whatever it is that's down there that you're interacting with, like in this case, your day typically, well, your week, but basically your day, starts off with picking a mission to go do. So it's kind of got a specific flow to it, where you do a mission, then you dispatch people, then you train people, put some on a rest cycle, and then this just kind of goes on and on and on until you eventually get to a story fight, and then more stuff unlocks. So that cycle is pretty legit. It actually makes me think a lot of something, well, not quite like something like Legend of Mana, but it has that same feel of just being able to sit down, just do something random, kind of do your management, and then just kind of put it down and go do something else for a bit. I really like that cycle. So that part I really like as far as an overall format goes. As far as the setting, I will say the setting is an unusual one that I kind of like. So the idea is that you're basically stuck, in a time loop kind of thing. However, uh, okay, so as far as the phone game mechanics, you apparently have to pay one of them key things every time that your main character dies, kind of like in a roguelike kind of sense, and then you restart your timeline and then make different choices and do different outcomes and all of that kind of thing. So far, several hours in, I have yet to see anything other than the mandatory beginner thing where it has you restart so that you can actually start the game proper out of the tutorial. So it doesn't feel like it's immediately trying to murder you in the demo, at least. Anyway, let's get into a fight so that we can show other mechanics. Just so you know, there are other places around, like at any time you can do this stuff out of order, like going around to the town, all of that kind of thing, to go do your other kind of stuff for that week, so to speak. So, like, you'd go to the tavern to go recruit people, you'd go have weapons made at your forge there. And we'll get to some more of these little details. Like I like that when you set somebody to train, it actually shows them specifically training. But also, I really don't like the character, what they did entirely with the character that does the workshop. But let's get into the combat. So the combat does have a little bit of the phone game flavor here in terms of how they label the difficulties. Frankly, I don't even want to touch easy because that's even the ones that it labeled as like intense or terrifying or very hard or whatever else. It's like a 4v3 and they're behind some barricades and you just like do them one by one. It's like I'm not sure this is really that as hyper difficult as you're hyping it up to be, but okay. It is what it is. It's a little, pat you on the head, good little Timmy moment. But anyway, okay. So as far as all these ones go, there's just like various stuff going around all over the place. As to whether or not this actually affects your different reputations and things, like you have different reputations with your different factions. So far, I haven't seen this mechanic come into play, but again, I'm still only a few hours in. Just a dozen plus requests to go cover this later. I figured I might as well at least throw in a early first impressions out. Anyway, so okay, so supposedly this is going to be a mechanic down the road. Now, a little bit of a funny mismatch that had happened here. Again, a little bit of that phone flavor seeping into the single game player version of it. The Papal States are somebody that we're supposed to be neutral slash friendly with, and we've already killed multiple of their patrols for seemingly no reason. But anyway, it is what it is. It's like I assume these are randomly generated or something like that. But they're like, oh, you killed our dudes. Well, we're just going to send somebody over to go join your team, I guess. But overall, again, I like what seems to be implied here behind the system. I hope that there's something more to that faction reputation system. Like, I hope there's more of like a Battle Brothers kind of thing going on there. And in fact, in many ways, it does kind of feel like a baby's first Battle Brothers in terms of its overall presentation. It's like you got a little bit of that. You got a little bit of kind of Darkest Dungeon in there, and the fights are fairly quick. The counter system feels a little bit like Tactics Ogre Reborn, but simplified. So you basically got, despite the fact that they try to be like, oh, these are like, what were they? Seekers, defenders, or crushers, or something like that. No, it's fire beats grass, grass beats water, water beats fire. That's what we're looking at over here. And then you got archers who have the range advantage over the casters. The casters got the AoEs typically, and then they each have some specific skills. Anyway, so control-wise, this actually works pretty well on Steam Deck. I'm not rating it on its phone version. I'm not going to be playing the phone version, but the Steam Deck version, it's interestingly implemented here. So it uses what I'd describe almost like a hook system for controls, which we'll explain in a little bit. And additionally, the terrain effects, this is one of those things that I really like, because they actually do make a solid effort to make you make use of the terrain. So anyways, having taken a look at the field here, again, very Tactics Ogre Reborn kind of scout mode type of vibes going on here. Where it's like, okay, they got a couple ranged units over here, as well as, I don't know if we're here to protect the dancers. They were on our side in a previous cutscene. They appear to be an enemy now. Not really entirely sure what the deal is with that. Are you neutral or what? Because you were supposed to be a friend. I don't know. Anyway, they might be murder hooker. I don't know. Also, I feel like pointing this out every time. Yes, obligatory furries in an SRPG. Why is this always a thing? I don't know. Anyway, so we need a fire guy to beat the grass guy. Ranged units can typically just be run down, and then we need a water guy to beat this guy, though realistically an archer on this barrel will sort that job out just fine. So let's see, who do we got here? We'll probably just go for at least a couple archers. I have to say, so far between the different character classes, archers typically have seen the most utility. Actually, I feel like 2 archer shots might be able to just handle this if they are fast enough. So I'll put one of those there. I'd like to see at least one... I'm going to call them fire, even though they're like fighter or something. We're going to put one of them over there. This one I do not trust in terms of not just being a spy, considering when they showed up. That's probably not where the game's going to go with that. But frankly, it just makes it more fun for me to assume that they're a spy. This guy is all edgy, and I never want to use him. And then we'll just go ahead and I guess we'll just put a assassin over here. So you... No, wait. Pikeman goes over there. The selection system is a little bit weird as far as your tiles go. You have to specifically select the other tiles. I think there is probably a button combo to help deal with that a little bit, but there's a lot of very oddly specific button combos. They definitely thought this stuff out. They just didn't explain all the button combos as of yet, so it is what it is. Anyway, so with that all being said, let's go ahead and get this one started. The tactics command, I don't think has been unlocked yet. I think that's for setting up macros and things, since a lot of these fights are... going to be fairly quick. The fights in general have just been pretty speedy. Alright, so they did end up getting their turn first. So what I mean by a hook system for control. So like if you're on Steam Deck, basically you're selecting with like a little dot, right? So like wherever you go, they will attempt to attack from that angle, and then it'll sort of lock in to whatever you're doing. Um, this gives it an interesting feel. I'm not sure how I feel about this control system just yet, but it is novel. So far, it's definitely been growing on me. Though in some cases it does feel like it switches modes a little bit, and this only works for basic attacks. So like if you want to do a skill attack, unlike your kind of more standard SRPG kind of thing, you'd have to select a standing tile instead and then go for the attack that way. And then if somebody's got an advantage, if they're using a power attack, typically it will be a one-shot or close to it. Basic attacks are typically going to be a bit more basic. However, there has been utility from these other skills. Like, I was really glad to see that there was one mission where they actually are shaking up the different mission objectives, where like one before this, it's just there's a mob of thieves that are going through a church, and they give you the objective of catching the guy before they manage to escape with a box. And so, for example, looking through the list, this guy had this hookshot ability, which lets you pull somebody over to them and make them a bit more dead than they previously were. We're just going to use it here for the sake of example, but still, you know, it's a cool little move there. So movement mechanics, terrain mechanics, all that stuff is actually explored, is actually utilized, and it's utilized in a satisfactory way. So that makes me really glad to see. You've got things like these Overwatch ability type situations, though I'll be honest, I don't know how this works. Because no matter where I look, it doesn't seem to really... Oh, there we go. Now it finally works. Apparently you have to mash the ever-loving Christ out of the D-pad for it to work. I don't know why. Maybe somebody will fix that down the line. But anyway, I guess oddly specific Steam Deck issue. So let's go ahead and pop this guy real quick. The archers do feel very short range, but at the same time, it's also because they typically won't use their maximum range when you're going and just like telling them go kill that guy in that sort of like hook selection mode. Typically, they'll default to the 2-tile range. Additionally, as far as losing your units, there doesn't seem to be permadeath. The way that that this is working right now, it seems to be along the lines of a... Let's go ahead and stab this guy real quick. The way that it works so far seems to be a system where they'll just lose more of their daily stamina if they end up getting knocked out. So normally, if they take a fight, they lose 10%. If they end up getting knocked out, they lose 40%, which just means that they can't do other stuff in the background. So we'll get to more on that in a little moment. Also, I still have no idea why we were just introduced to them being friendly and are now killing them. Again, phone mechanics, gonna phone mechanics. This is the like. It's annoying when that happens. But again, I get it. Like, they can't really control exactly everything for every scenario, but, you know, it's always weird. Anyway, let's just go ahead and pop this barrel real quick. Probably could have shot it from where we were, but screw it, that selection method's easier. I do like that so far, when it comes to those terrain effects, we aren't seeing the triangle strategy problem, namely of like, oh wow, these terrain effects sure matter in like the first hour of the game, and that 30 electric damage from the water is not gonna do shit later. I know I'm ripping on triangle a lot, the aesthetics are very similar. Also, funnily enough, I was just, when I was going through the character selection, I accidentally selected this character, and backing out confirmed it. So this lady just ended up looking like what I would imagine Kate Marston would look like from Armored Core 6. So that's what we went with. Anyway, all right. So basically, that's, you just go, you do a quick skirmish, you know, you do some fights or whatever else. Some people get tired, some people don't. Typically, like, the difficulty feels pretty loose. Even when they're saying, like, oh, it's going to be hyper difficult, and it's super intense difficulty, in reality, it's going to be a minor inconvenience, huh? So, at least so far. Obviously, this is the demo. They want people getting in there. I'm sure, based on the fact that they actually have had an almost, like, FFTA level of difficulty in a lot of cases, I will say that it does feel like it's going to actually go somewhere with that. So we do like that. Okay, so additionally, you have slots for guarding caravan routes. So like in this case, there's just whatever characters we want to send out on this. So due to this particular thing, and due to the fact that I assume this lady's going to be a spy, even though the story probably won't go there. There you go. Like, we'll just go ahead and send the spy out on a caravan mission. There you go. Go off on a little bit of a vacation. No reporting on things. You do have a sort of free roam available, like you can just kind of hop between the different locations. Some locations give you the option to just walk out of the door, some don't. It's a little inconsistent in that way. A lot of them feel like little sandboxes, and the backgrounds definitely have that, default blank template in Photoshop look to them, but that does feel like an aesthetic choice. Maybe they'll change that down the road. Anyway, so as far as resting spots, let's see what we got here. So basically, whenever your characters are injured or have been used up a bit too much, you can go throw them here. Now, this is one of your main plot characters. I personally find her general demeanor kind of annoying, so we're just going to go ahead and leave her at 10% stamina, but for everybody else, you can have a bit of a rest. Also, I'm a little bit curious to see how far that negative percent can go, because she is force deployed for some fights. Okay, you're tired, you get to take a nap. Who else? Apparently, they actually close their eyes. That's kind of a neat little touch there. Sure, you're at 10%. You get to take a nap, and then you... Actually, I think they get more tired. Maybe they get more tired depending on their percentage. I don't know, because these guys are still there. Also, not really sure why generic mercenary pikeman guy apparently just really wants to stare longingly at the camera at all times, but you know what? Whatever, you do you. Anyway, so yeah, you can interact with all these different locations. Whenever you put your characters out for a rest, they will, rest or training or whatever else. They'll just kind of hang out. So I, appreciate little details like that. It's just good to see. It's good to see the world like going and just kind of having people doing stuff, So that's nice there. As far as all of your kind of, I guess, scheduled activities, you can just immediately hop to the next one, as you'd kind of expect from this kind of format. For your training, every day you can put somebody in for a training slot here. So actually, you're beyond dead levels of tired. Let's train you anyway. No, who do we want to train? Is anyone even available right now? Okay, there we go. Recruit pikeman. Let's go ahead and put you for training. I thought I already put this guy for something else. But let's go ahead and train you to learn a new skill. So the skill training feels a little bit like it's got some of that XCOM 2 flavor in there, where it's just going to give them one random thing to choose from. So you just kind of pick from one of your perks. So far, equipment and the perks have been situational, but seem to have unlocked different options. The equipment, obviously this is still at the beginning of the game, but like a 2% difference does not feel like it is going to do a dang thing, but alright, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, anybody you put in for training, they'll actually go and do training, so, appreciate the little details. So as far as the artwork and overall presentation and stuff like that, I like that. Now, I haven't really touched on the story, because I like the general premise of the story, where basically you're killed at the very beginning, and you're told, okay, you're in a time loop. It kind of made me think a little bit of what I've been told FF Tactics Reach the Future is like. But either way, interesting. Not sure what that was about. Appeared in the tavern and can't be recruited. What's that about? Whatever. Anyway, so point being, I like the overall premise. The main characters, though, aside from the actual, lead protagonist, I freaking hate, but we'll get to that in a moment. Right, nearby villages were attacked. Passing merchant brought bad news. Several villages near the town were attacked by unknown armed forces. Attackers looted everywhere and scorched ruins everywhere they went. A few days later, refugees who survived the attacks came to town and confirmed the news in person. While talking to the refugees who get away, he realized that they weren't attacked by normal bandits. The bandits were extremely strong. You asked the patrol to investigate, and they confirmed that these villages were destroyed. And they followed the clues and traced to the places where they stayed. So this is very Darkest Dungeon-esque in terms of its pacing, you're not necessarily going and directly upgrading all of your slots or whatever else. It feels a bit more, a hell of a lot more casual than something like Darkest Dungeon, but the overall kind of flow does feel very familiar if you played it. Okay, so now next thing that I like as far as that interaction is like this. So right there we have somebody that wants to go talk somewhere. Instead of having to go there, and instead of just skipping awkwardly to the cutscene, they essentially telling them to go there will teleport you over there. And then essentially you'll be able to just kind of have the little jog over to that location. So it will kind of GPS you over to where you need to go, but at the same time it also will will, be a bit less awkward than the usual, like, boom, you're in a cutscene kind of bullshit, Again, I know I rip on triangle strategy a lot, but that was one of those things of, like, we need to have all this background lore dumps type stuff going on, and then there's, like, bam, next to that map from last time. We're just gonna have these two characters. You go to the next scene, and it's the next two characters in the same location. You go to the next scene, they're like 2 feet over in the same location. Anyway, okay, so what's this lady wants? So they apparently like their church, which they're saying it's very nice. I mean, we kind of stabbed like, I don't know, 10 people in there the other day, but okay, whatever. Random fights are gonna random. They're doing some kind of ritual. Neato, neato. Pray to some radiant who is totally not their god. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that your god is basically a cat. We haven't really gotten into that. Okay, Radiant Blessing originates from prayer rituals of the Papal States. In Sanctuary, where people believe in the Radiant, the Servant of Radiant utilizes the power of Luxite to grant believers various Radiant blessings and different ability bonuses. By sending mercenaries to participate in the blessing ritual, they can receive different blessings. You can also increase the power of the ritual by renovating the Sanctuary and enhancing stack for that. Okay. So, okay. Bit of an awkward thing here. So, we'll send somebody to do this. But a bit of an awkward thing with this whole ritual shenaniganry is the fact that we have a church to this particular group, and they're, we'll go ahead and send somebody out. Yeah, go ritual sacrifice this lady, I think. Yeah, go do it. Uh, Sorry, she is really annoying. She's like the standard anime trope of like, oh look, they're neat and happy little girl, and they're the frickin' like tank. Like, no. What is that? Why are they acting like they're 5 and they're supposed to be a general? Like, no. Get that out of here. That's just weird. Let's see. Increase damage by 20% when performing counterattacks. Oh. Hello, phone alarm that I apparently forgot to turn off. Huh. Thank you, reminder. Anyway. Let's see, at the start of the battle, gain a physical shield equal to 20% health, probably going for that immediately, or gain 15% damage bonus when attacking. Okay, so we got Crowbar, we got, Into the Breach, Scientist, or we got counters, or we got counter 2. Okay, let's go ahead and go for this one. Neato. So you just go ahead and get that. Their stamina is 0. We'll see how tired they can get. Okay, so apparently it's another month until somebody can be blessed. Fantastic. Oh, for goodness sake. Go away, spam calls. This is not the time. And anyway, so let's get back to the weird thing that I was talking about. So one thing that kind of weirded me out about all this is this frickin' workshop, okay? So, again, I want to point out that as far as the overall presentation and stuff like that, the game wants to take its premise kind of seriously, in which there's a big old war going on, you and your little mercenary band are basically hiding out in this town, and you're just kind of a bubble that's trying to manage everything in the middle. Again, see stuff that the triangle promised to be. But anyways, so in terms of overall premise, that's cool, okay? Now, the thing is, they mentioned that you're supposed to be managing your different reputations with these different groups. Okay, fantastic. They send you a thing, like, really early on, that they're like, okay, look, there's the Papal States, whatever, they're right next to you, they're, they're totally not Rome, or totally not the Holy Roman Empire. And they're hyper religious. Like religion is their whole shtick. They send out somebody to go renovate your church so that you're doing your church duties and things like that. All well and good. But then the next thing that they say is, okay, we're trying to hunt down some witches that love to make explosions happen and mind control people and stuff. And we know that they are coming over to your general location and will pay you money if you catch them. And you know what? Also, if you harbor them, we will basically just bring down the wrath of God. Which, typically you'd think, okay, cool, so go hunt them down. And story-wise, that's what they start to do. Until other people also start doing the same thing, at which point it does pull a triangle strategy, and they're like, oh, wait, hold on. We want to switch sides for absolutely no reason. And now they just sort of work for you. Openly opening up a workshop in your town, like, right across the street from the frickin' church that's trying to hunt them down, creating, like, science experiments for you. In public with advertisement and everything. So, like... What's that about? Anyway, also, disturbing standard kind of anime tropey thing of why on earth do they look like they're 5? Make it go away. Honestly, I don't, forget it. I don't even want to use this entire thing. Just make it go away. No. We're out. No. Get out of here. I don't care. I'm sure that's an important game mechanic. I don't want to touch it. She is just no. Okay. What do we got at the tavern? If they got more spears to hire, I want more spears to hire. Let's see. Nearby village was attacked. Yes, I know. We'll take care of that. And yes, she is offering free space to absolutely everybody. I mean, I guess we got enough space. Why not? Got more generic spearman, sure. Also, I love that. So they have a random name generator, right? What's funny is that they will give them a job and a job and a random name at the very start, and this includes your main character when you're re-rolling for a random name. So it's like, oh, would you like your name to be Fighter Bob? And it's like a girl, and it's like kind of odd. Anyway, whatever. It is what it is. There is actually, I should probably mention. There is a little bit of translation jank still left over. Obviously, this is something that's still in process of being translated to English and whatever else. Currently, the only language options are English and Japanese. Chinese and Japanese. I went for Chinese because the install size was smaller. But yeah, there's not really much voice acting here anyway, and you can turn it off entirely. Personally, I would have preferred the option to just have no voice acting at all and save the hard drive space, but whatever. Anyway, so it was like 200 megabytes, which doesn't sound like much until you're playing on a Steam Deck. Alright, so we got Attack Bandit Camp, neato. All well and good. So far, several hours in, I haven't felt that any kind of early game level creep. It just feels like stuff's been pretty easy so far. So we'll see if this is any different with the alleged intensity of this whole thing. So I love that I sent this lady out on patrol, and yet she's right back here anyway. Why are you still back here? Alright. You go there. Let's come. Actually, wait. What the hell are we fighting? We got some grass, we got a water, we got an archer. Those are the types. The types are bow, fire, water, grass, and squishy. Alright. So we'll get a couple of spears on this. I do like the kind of simplicity of that system. It's got potential. I will say that much. It's definitely got ideas. So I do think that the deployment situation here is a little awkward, but it's fine. Yeah, let's go for something like this, and that looks good enough. Okay. Oh, I forgot. A lot of these random fights do actually have dialogue in there. Obviously, this one's more of a story-orientated one. But as far as the story-orientated fights, I find it really funny that some of the translations are really awkward. Like, there's one that you stab a guy, he's actively dying at the end of your spear there, and one of the villagers comes in and is like, no, you don't understand. You killed my brother. Like, wait, what? Like, this guy was robbing your camp. Like, he was robbing the camp, but he was robbing it for me. And I know they meant something else there. Like, it probably was supposed to be that it was all a misunderstanding, and frankly, you got paid for it anyway, so who cares? But it was just, some of those little moments are just kind of funny. All right, so get into another fight here. Again, I really do. I have genuinely been enjoying this so far. And for those wondering, there is basically the chariot mechanic from Tactics Ogre here, so if you do need to reset your turns, you have the option. There doesn't seem to be any penalty for it, so it's definitely got that, good for baby's first SRPG kind of vibes going on for that, but we'll see. There's kind of generic attack on you. Oh, actually, I should also mention, just like Triangle, it does use sort of a power pip system. Definitely, I mean, it basically seems to work almost exactly the same way, too. So, we've got that. Actually, no, I meant to put him in Overwatch. Crap. Messed that up. Messed that up entirely, but well, we'll be okay all the same. You haven't seen anything crazy smart coming out of the AI, but, stuff might change. We got that guy over there. We got you getting additional stabbies versus this guy. I should probably be using more of the power moves, but it's fine. They do have reinforcement mechanics. They do have lots of different terrain mechanics. Like it was cool to see even stuff like rolling boulders and stuff like that got thrown in here. Throwing those barrels is possible. Um, they have had a few of the mandatory "oh, random person comes in and saves you, look how anime they are" moments, and those are a little frustrating. But oh well. Again, it is what it is. Like they're definitely trying to kind of thread the needle there as far as being a little bit of both. So far, it has been a very net positive, especially considering that the game is basically free. So, so that's nice. All right, so what kind of abilities you got? I forget. Are you the one with more stuff or less stuff? So we got over here. Let's see. Increases attacker defense by 5%. Dealing damage has a 70% chance to inflict one random debuff. I do like that they give you these details for all this stuff. That's definitely appreciated. Single target move, 110%. Move -2, so just a leg shot. And an indirect, yeah, so that's exactly what you'd expect it to be. And just go ahead and shoot at this guy. So again, the kind of analog stick controls here have definitely grown on me over time. I've been liking them more and more. It's kind of just kind of a novel way to control stuff. Okay, this guy is just going to go do his whole Overwatch thing over in that direction. Okay. So let's go ahead and watch that zone. They don't seem to be aware of this stuff, and they'll gladly just walk into your shots. So that's good to see. That's occasionally it'll get a little frustrating when that's blocked off. Let's see, how are you going to do versus this guy? So directional damage doesn't seem to be too much of a thing by default. However, there is actually a directional mechanic thing in terms of certain skills actually having kind of different situations depending on facing. So, like, for example, with your spearmen so far, there seems to be an option to have arm guards that'll just increase somebody's defense specifically from the side. So those mechanics do exist. Also going to put this lady here to hopefully bait an attack. We'll see if that works out. It might not. Okay. And with any luck, that archer will be able to... Oh, okay, I guess they won't finish it off. And I guess that doesn't trigger on long-range attacks. Good to know. Okay, you learn something new every day. Also, what's this? Why would I attack this? What's the point of attacking a supply crate? We'll figure that out in a moment. Debuffs, well, they exist. There hasn't really been too much of a need to use debuffs yet. We're still pretty early, but they do exist. So some of the DOT stuff has been relevant. So there's that. Okay, you've got nothing better to do. Just attack the crate, I guess. I guess that might be a field heal, maybe. Interesting. All right. Well, I want him to block a tile. I want him to potentially break this guy's leg so that he's not a threat. The archer probably still will have range, but again, the AI doesn't seem to be trying particularly hard, so we've got that going for us. Alright, finish him. And then we'll see with the spear guy if we can get a heal. Is that what this does? Neat! Okay, I like that. So we got field heals, we got interactions with the environment. Again, I appreciate that kind of stuff. So that's good to see. You love to see any kind of mechanics wherever they show up. It feels like every time that I try one of these, there's always going to be somebody insisting that like it always gets better later. In this case, I'm actually inclined to believe it. There's definitely more of a give a shit factor going on, so that's good to see. Okay. Any darn ways. I love how this game's subtitle is "For This World of Peace." There does not seem to be any peace in this world, but oh well. So we found some letters. We also found some ham, but we already ate it. Oh, actually, so I was going to say about the main characters, why I don't like them very much. So this lady over here, our commander lady, we're being led by an alcoholic, which is just not a great sign. And again, we got a lady over there that wants to pretend that she's a little girl. Not exactly great for what they're going for here. Again, does this look like a freaking tank to you? I know it's a trope, and it's supposed to be the whole inversion of expectations thing, but like nothing about this lady screams tank. Anyway, Letter says you should totally go just charge the front lines. Good luck. We'll be over here supporting you. Let's see. Bandits are employed by the Papal States. They want to rob and kill here, likely to weaken the power of this King's Army guy, although it's unclear whether we're against him or with him at this point. So, yes. So they're doing that whole thing. Yes, story dramatic. When do we get back to to killing these guys off some more? They have not been much of a threat. The assaults on our town may never stop. They do seem to happen every day. But yeah, so can we get rid of all the church people now, or do we have to get rid of all the church people? It's unclear. We just kind of happily let them in. So what do we do about that? Because I have a feeling that nobody will address this. They never do. It's always like, no, we can't trust this faction, and then there's just like no suspicion towards the people that are already in your party. I always wanted to see more of that, you know. But anywho, we got quests available. I'm sure we do. What's the town got? Right, we're ignoring you. What do you got? You look suspicious. Would you like to give us free buffs? No, just nothing. Okay. Good to know. Hold on, there was a thing that popped up on the left. So, what's this? Right, Luxite Energy, recover General Ritual +5. Okay, so I guess you can make this go up. You just shove a bunch of wood and money in their direction. Well, we're not rich enough, so that's a bummer. No tithing for us. Let's just go stab more things, I guess. What do we got for quests? Out of curiosity, what do they call easy? Because I deliberately skipped all the easy ones, considering that the hard ones were already pretty easy, assuming that you'd get different rewards, but the rewards seem somewhat similar. Let's see, save the dancer. Oh, this gives 400 bucks. All right. If their archer goes below 10%, they die. They were ambushed by slave traders near town. Okay, so same old of why must it always be furries, but whatever, it is what it is. I do appreciate that they keep the kind of elemental counters and stuff up on screen so that you actually have them available. And also, additionally, I didn't mention the music up to this point. You can definitely tell that I forget their name right now, but you can definitely tell that they got the right composer for the job. So yeah, you got your standard generic anime bandits, as they always are. You know, always just kind of being generically evil as you do. It is what it is. Anyway. So yeah. The furries are obviously like your standard Viera kind of situation. So, you know, they're furry. They seem to all be mostly ladies for the most part. I think there was one dude so far. But still, you know, one of those kinds of situations. But yeah, the music's been good. The backgrounds are odd. I don't feel... Okay, with the backgrounds, I feel like part of it might be because it's also on phones. So it probably just gives it a bit more pop on phones, if I were to guess. Honestly, I didn't even notice it for a little bit of a while until putting it on a bigger screen. It's definitely more noticeable on a bigger screen. But when playing the deck in handheld mode, you know, didn't really seem like much of anything visually speaking there. Just seemed like a background doing its thing. Again, just a little bit noticeable after how much work went into the Reborn stuff, which this isn't like a fair comparison, obviously, but still, after seeing the amount of changes that happened there, it just would have been nice to see more of that. Actually, wait a minute. Hold up. Can we do something with this? Because he can do the whole pullback thing. Is he able to pull stuff off cliffs? No. Okay, so we can't do off cliffs. No real way to push this guy off here. Yeah, considering that the push mechanics and stuff like that were a thing, I would have expected more starting characters to have a pushback mechanic. I think that's why they wanted you to use annoyingly looks like a child lady. But yeah, I'm not really gonna do that. Just kind of creeps me out, you know. So ain't gonna happen. All right. So I'm not sure what the exclamation mark was about, whether that's actually a mechanic or not. There did seem to be some type of occasional morale mechanic that showed up in some situations that looked kind of similar to that, but it only ever happened once, so I have no idea what the hell that is. Most characters seem to be a basic attack and a power attack, like it's, you know, freaking Pokemon Go or something, but it's still, again, they do seem to be doing additional stuff with it, so it's fine. As far as the format goes, it doesn't feel like anything's missing so far. As far as SRPGs, doing more with less while still making better use of the map is a really important thing for the genre as a whole, as far as I see it, and that's definitely what they're doing here. So that part's good to see. So we'll just go ahead and stand by with you. Actually, one little nice note to mention is that putting your your end turn as its own button is actually a pretty solid choice. So it's one thing that you definitely don't see utilized enough, because oftentimes it'll just be, you know, a 2-button combo. It's not the end of the world. But having the ability to just end it right there, as far as your turns go, is pretty solid. One thing I don't necessarily like, though, is the fact that there's a button for switching to full AI mode, which obviously for grinding that makes sense, but I wish it was kind of unbound by default, because I've had more than one occasion where I lost a character because I set the deck down to go deal with the kids or something, and just immediately it switched over to AI mode and they got everyone killed. So just a bit of a thought. Okay, so quick thing, because I forgot to check if I actually have any equipment to give anybody. Can you actually equip from this menu? No. Okay, well, good to know. Resting slots are available. Okay, we give somebody a rest. Like, as far as the format goes, as far as being engaging, as far as giving you stuff to do, and actually making use of the stuff that matters for the genre, this is doing a good job. Literally, most of my complaints, the only complaints that I've had about this so far, are like standard anime tropey kind of stuff that, frankly, seems to follow the genre everywhere it goes. So, again, with few exceptions. So that's good to see there. That as far as the overall mechanics, as far as making use of its systems here, actually making it matter as a genre, like, I couldn't tell you the sheer raw disappointment of seeing something like War of the Visions, talking up all of these map interactions and stuff like that, and then doing nothing with them, whereas they've been a very prevalent part of this one. I do wish that you could more freely run around. Like, this directly just connects to another part of the town, as you can see from right here, but it's only some of the areas that let you run back and forth. Minor detail, but, you know, it is what it is. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next week. See who comes back trained. I love the roster rotation. Again, not really something that you see utilized as much as it probably should be. So it's good to see that happening. Thank you for the church donating the money that we're about to go donate back to them. Alright, let's see. Mr. Staring way too hard at the camera over here. What do you got? You got Fearless. What's this going to do? Bonus attack and defense when is increased by 17% when this character is injured. I don't know if by bonus attack they mean overhead, or if they mean bonus attack like they take an extra action at some point. I don't know. There's the arm bracers I was talking about when attacked from the side. Defense bonus is increased by 30%. So I haven't seen if this is visually denoted. Physical defense, when this character receives a physical attack, they take 15% less. Yeah, just do that. Alright, so we'll go ahead and leave. Nothing's being forged at the moment. We'll go ahead and fix that. The mercenary group came to attack the town's secret, brought disturbing news, or, why am I saying secret? Scout. A group of mercenaries, or bandits to be exact, hired by the papal state of Rodinia is coming to town. Their goal is clear. They are to avenge the bandits you eliminated. We gotta get revenge for the attack that you stopped, that we were doing in the first place. We gotta get revenge for you defending yourself. How dare you? According to the scouts' report, they are strong and they seem to be led by a powerful leader. A tough fight is inevitable. Prepare for the attack. Oh no, they said they're powerful. They're gonna go give them some crazy anime hairdo. It seems to have been a very regular thing. Okay, so first and foremost, before I forget, because it actually didn't tell me to go forge something, I was expecting that it would actually do that. Let's see, what do we got from you? Can you make something? Alright, so we got normal forging, and we got here. Common gear. Let's just do this thing. Do we get to see what it is? A weapon of some kind, probably. Okay. Just, sure. Start making that. Why not? I know that this is, like, obligatory, like, mobile game kind of stuff, but whatever. It's just the fact that you can walk out of there and then just kind of, like, walk around. Obviously, these townspeople don't have anything to say, but you occasionally see little bits of flavor dialogue. But this... See, like, this is fine. This is good. I like this. Like, just being able to wander around the town, the overall process feels like it's embracing what it's trying to be, you know? Now, why it is that I can see the icon for the tavern and not enter it, I guess you're supposed to enter from here, which is... maybe not? Do you enter the tavern from this side? Huh. Well, alright, whatever. Either way, it's just good to be able to wander around the town like this, you know? Let's see. So, as far as the gacher mechanics or whatever else, let's go ahead and talk about the tavern thing. So, as you saw earlier, every few weeks or so, you get a couple of new people to recruit from here, and then every few rounds there's more to recruit, and then you just get more people in your rotation. Also, I find it really funny that that guy has been consistently passed out for weeks, and I'm pretty sure he's just dead at this point. We have not done anything about this, but... Alright, let's go see what this allegedly super difficult fight is. Alright. Difficulty is despair! Alright, cool. Hold on for at least 6 rounds, defeat at least 10 enemies, fight the mercenary group who's here to take revenge. Maintain stability in town 20%. Neato. Actually, wait, one more thing that I want to go do real quick. That churchy thing. Like, yes, I know that they're about to try to attack us, but we're going to go donate some money to them anyway. As we're about to go steal it back. At least that's what I'm going with. So, increase the Luxite energy regeneration of collective ritual. Yeah, whatever you say. That sounds important, probably, maybe. So, we spent a whole bunch of money on a painting, which is exactly what we need to be doing at wartime. Alright. Do the thing, do the event, do the despair, collect our money back. Alrighty. Fight the other mercenary group who's here to take revenge. I did see that there's some kind of like dueling mechanic, just like a PvP mechanic with other people, supposedly. Don't know, don't care. Anyway, like PvP mechanics in SRPGs basically never work. At best, it's something like XCOM 2, which was pretty awesome, though nobody ever plays it. And let's see, we need some water, I guess. Mostly we need water here. It's pretty much the only thing that this this party is currently lacking. Yeah, we've already got an archer, we've already got a tank, we've already got a fire. Sure. Again, I really don't like when you're forced to go use their specific characters, because I don't like them. Let's see, leader of unidentified mercenaries, been looking for you, sort of Convallaria, nice formatting. You got us before, it's time for you to pay. Getting revenge for something or other. Okay. Guard the line of defense, she says. Standing in front of it. Let's see, block the... Okay, so... I do like that this has also been an option. That every now and then you do get choices to go and interact with the maps a bit more. It feels like more barrels is just the way to go here. So, every now and then, you'll have options for, like, sending somebody out to go do something at the start of a round or something. So, good stuff there. Anyway, she is going to basically sacrifice herself. Do we want to do that? No, that's not going to work in that case. I was going to say to go leg kick the thing, but she doesn't have the spin move that she got in the tutorial anymore. So, we'll just go ahead and move her there and just kind of chill. See if our archer gets a chance to act. Again, our leader is an alcoholic, what the hell. You go ahead and just kind of chill out there. Okay, pikemen can probably go block this direction and prevent them from moving forward, hopefully. Alright, he's going to be super effective against her. I do like that her ability is called Screw Off. That's just kind of amusing. Anyway. Alright, stabify that guy. Yeah, just barely enough for him to be dead, and then we get a archer over here to just barely miss being able to shoot that barrel. Wonderful. Alright, at least go there. While we can't hit the barrel directly for the moment, it does give us a option to reposition maybe later. So far, 6 rounds doesn't seem like it would be particularly difficult, but they do properly convey when like stuff is moving around. Like we see the reinforcements coming in from the background. Let's see if knocking this guy into the barrel will make everybody explode. Nah. Yeah, well, okay, there we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. I mean, again, this is several hours in at this point. I haven't felt I haven't felt the usual, like, mobile game thing of, like, oh, you haven't spent enough money, time to go, you know, screw yourself until you're ready to go grind. So, that's been nice. Alright, she is probably just going to go ahead and stay right where she is. Just so we can get more units around the barrel there. And it seems like we got some generic goobers to come help us out, so that's nice. Nice little world-building detail. You go ahead and guard right here. Seems like a bit of a waste of the barrel to go shoot him right now, but... we're already on round 2. Wait, what? Hold on, wait. No, that was a dumb idea. I was trying to shoot the barrel, instead I almost had him blow himself up. Wasn't really thinking there. That is 100% my bad. I didn't realize that it locked onto him. That is the downside so far of this whole, like, hooking control system there. Because sometimes you'll lock onto something and not realize that you were actually locked onto something else. Again, thankfully not an all-the-time issue, but... Oh, well, anyway. What's Drunky McGee doing here? Let's see, single target attack, knocks the target back 2 tiles, so they do make use of water tiles here. So, you know, drowning and stuff. So that's neat. So there's certain bits, like this right now is taking place in kind of like the main story mode, as it were. The other sections that happen in sort of the kind of like an ethereal void, there's just random void gaps that are all over the map that you can just throw stuff off, so that's kind of neat. I'm kind of thinking that since this guy's low in health, maybe we just save this barrel and attack. Although, I have a feeling we're going to pull him back because we might need him later. Yeah, just have him pull back for the moment. Actually, better yet, how far of a range does that hook shot of yours have? Not quite enough to make it worthwhile. Okay, just go here for now. Go that direction, be relatively safe-ish. Unfortunately, you can't attack and move at the same time. So, yeah, we're just gonna pull back here. Archer's probably gonna attack our guy, but that's fine. Alright. Just pull back for the moment. Yeah, she's gonna be fine tanking. You're gonna go right there. Archer should be able to blow up the barrel, and then that's that problem solved. I like to think she's talking in Simlish. I know she's saying something in Chinese, but I choose to believe she's talking in Simlish. There we go. Also, comes with the ability to go heal somebody passively in the background. Anyway, this lady is wounded. Now we're just going to pull you back over here. Just going to go ahead and sit. Archer can go deal with his type stuff there. Oh, this guy's an idiot. Okay, cool. Nice that we brought that guy along. Like, thanks for ruining our trap there, buddy. We had him dead to rights. Why'd you have to do that? Alright. Yeah, let's just... I don't know what the benefit is of moving you here, but let's just move you here. Maybe make it a little bit safer. You can't target that guy anymore, so you just sit there and wait. Pike guy is probably going to have to pull out of there, but for now we got it handled. It's already round 5. We're not really in any immediate threat here, so... Alright, go hit this guy. I guess critical mechanic is a thing. Right. Yep, they're fine. Again, you know, dressed looking like they're about to go to Sunday school and doesn't even have armor, but that's okay. They're definitely the tankiest of the bunch. Nothing to be annoyed about there whatsoever. Anyway... Yeah, I still don't know what they were so exclamation marky about. What is that? Is that a morale mechanic? What is that? Does it say? Like, does it say they have any... What's this? No, that just increases their AoE damage. Yeah, so I don't know what that is. Something happens for some reason. That perfect explanation. Okay. Whatever, stab this guy. He did some kind of guard skill there. Don't suppose you're going to be able to make that shot, so just wait there. Yeah, just break through this guy. Is that 10 yet? I don't know. But for example, like if at any point I were just to accidentally hit the right trigger, the game will just play itself. This is what I was talking about earlier. Like I really don't like that auto mode is just so immediately on one of your triggers there. I mean, sure, there's basically nothing the AI can do to win at this point. It's just going to be a matter of who gets more stamina loss or whatever, but like... again, you're a tank, ladies and gentlemen. I just can't not find that funny. Alright. Moving on. Okay, apparently we're doing a second round. Neat. Or we're just ignoring that our team existed whatsoever, and she just completely bailed on the fight. Again, very mobile game kind of thing going on here right now, which... I don't like when that happens, but I do like that little guy over there with the knife. That's just a cool design. But it's like, whenever you have those moments where the, like, the cutscene was made completely absent of whatever the context was of the fight, like, we controlled that entire area, but they went through anyways and all that. But... Alright. And those guys just sort of left at some point, I guess. Though I do appreciate that they actually do give them damage numbers in the cutscenes to contextualize stuff. That is a solid thing, though I have to say randomly one of the furries showed up earlier and did like 10 times more damage than anybody else. Not sure what that was about. Completely unnecessary also because it was more than like, I think 7 times overkill for the health bars of the stuff they were fighting. Anyways, whatever. Minor detail. It is what it is. For the most part, it's fun. Okay. Wow, you guys suck. Oh no, they're setting up a mysterious guy. God, fine. Sorry, I really don't like anime tropes. Like, anytime they pop up, it's like, come on, this stuff has been driven into the dirt so hard, and I don't even watch the genre. It's just everywhere anyway. Anyway, okay, so that's about that. So, overall impressions, I really like what they did here on a technical level. I like the fact that it's got like a time loop, almost like a... kind of like a... almost like a roguelike aspect to it, where if you fail, supposedly if your town gets overrun, or if you get killed, well, you're basically now in a position where you're going and starting the campaign again. That's cool as a concept. I gotta say, that's definitely one of those ones that would make me want to come back to it, because that just, adds a whole other layer to this whole thing that you don't see that often. Visually and presentation-wise, it's done very solid. Balance-wise, considering that I haven't seen any early game level creep type stuff, or for that matter, have even interacted much with the leveling system for these first several few hours, I really like that. Because, frankly, oftentimes that's the kind of thing that ends up kind of biting SRPGs in the butt there. So that's great to see there. I love that that they have the stamina mechanic. The counter mechanic is pretty solid. Gives you a reason to constantly use different unit types. So far, the pacing of the main story mode has felt like a pretty solid build-up. Obviously, I'm not done with the demo yet, and the full game isn't out yet. But either way, that pacing has felt nice. some of the writing, like I like the kind of higher concept of a lot of the stuff that's going on there, as far as the whole time loop thing, as far as the general place of your place in the world. As far as the character writing, though, I absolutely despise it for the most part. But again, that's just anime tropey type of stuff. That's always going to give me a violent vomiting reaction, frankly. But as far as the overall designs of everything, it's been nice. It's been good to see actual like generic spear soldiers actually showing up somewhere. I know that's a weird thing to get excited for, but like so often it's like here's the super decorated knight guy with a fancy sword with 27 hilts on it, instead of like here's just generic soldier and you can equip 20 of them. Like that's what I want. That's what I one of those things that I always liked about Tactics Ogre. It's like here you go, here's generic soldiers doing their job. Like not crazy anime nonsense. Either way, but overall the designs have been pretty nice as far as not being too crazy designed or whatever else. Some are weirdly posed kind of dramatically, but whatever. But again, we don't see like freaking battle bikinis for the most part, so that's nice. Again, you are not a tank. What is your problem? But still, most of them are okay. This dude's just here to be edgy. That's why I'm not really a fan of that dude, but he does his job well, so whatever. And this one might be a spy. I don't know. They're spy for Jesus. It's unclear. Anyways, but so far, if you are missing a particular character class, like it seems like you can avoid needing a healer by just having extra aggression. The map mechanics, I felt like they were doing a lot of cool stuff with it. The overall kind of town that you're based in feels very legit to just walk around in. This is very, like, again, I know that this gets said a lot for this particular kind of visual style and whatever else, but this feels just good to go and look around at, They've done a lot with the details. Clearly, it's a game that was pulled in two different directions, but you can tell the ones that were working on the single story stuff are doing their darndest to actually give you a solid, single player game. And you can tell that the ones working on the mobile side are, working their hardest to to rub those two dimes together. But like either way, overall you can tell that there is a solid level of give a shit on display here, and I'd like to see that. So yeah, especially given the fact that the primary game is freaking free. Also, oh my god, that lady looks insane. What the hell's going on there? What is this? Are you okay? Are those glasses, or is she just staring off in two opposite directions right now? Huh. I think it just might be because, okay, let me, if I can use the mouse, I don't know if the mouse will show, but like, it's funny. Usually, for a lot of the other ones, the dark pupils of the eye are like where they have their eyes centered, like right there. In her case, it's the blue, and then she's got the kind of like, I guess, eyebrows or something off on the side. So when she's looking forward, it looks like she's got two eyes staring off in opposite directions. Okay, weird detail. Anyway. And again, on a technical level, I do appreciate how good they've actually done with implementing the controller support here. Because for situations where there is an oddly specific touch input or something like that, they do seem to have a collection of different options for selecting different things. Now, the controls are unusual and weird to get used to so far, but I do really like that. So in general, it's a simplified version here, but they do have combinations of all kinds of different things that seem to do the job well. So you love to see that. I will say one note that I really wish that there was the option to just simply not have any voice acting at all, and just not be forced to download this, but again, it's fine. What does personalized voice mean? Will enable personalized voice settings in Bond. Personalized voice settings will only affect the character's voice in battles, development, and interactions. I hope that doesn't mean that people record their actual voices, otherwise the multiplayer will undoubtedly somehow become racist. Anyway, so, we'll just go ahead and sort that out. There we go. And now it's gone. And yeah, so overall I like it. Like, overall I may not like many of the main characters, but I like what they're doing here. You know what? I like the cut of their jib. They're trying stuff. It's cool stuff. And, yeah, you know what? Not bad. Not bad. I was expecting actual, like, mobile game jank and whatever else, but, like, this is actually seemingly a whole ass game. So, We'll see where it goes. I like the idea of a story that keeps constantly expanding. I'm sure that will lead to scope creep down the line, but considering everything I've seen so far, I plan to complete off the demo however long it is. In general, I'm hoping that many of the options include simply replacing most of the management of this mercenary outfit, but again, in terms of setting and whatever else, aside from some iffy translation that I'm sure must have meant something else. Actually, wait, I forgot to talk to whoever's over here. Oh, it's you. I no longer care. Anyway, so as far as some of the writing, obviously, it's a little bit janky, given that it's being translated from Chinese or Japanese or whatever. So you will occasionally see some really jarring stuff coming out of people's mouths, but again, if you look at it from that lens of like, yeah, this is definitely English, give it the benefit of the doubt, and just kind of, it's kind of the Fallout 4 thing. You ignore the words and enjoy the game. It's one of those kinds of things, It's like, yeah, you know what? Nobody plays Fallout 4 to actually find their kid. Like, they're never going to find their kid. They're there to go turn their drive-in movie theater into a skate park for robots. Like, no one actually cares about the story there. Anyway, so that's about that. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. So hopefully this was useful information. I don't know why there were so dang many requests to see this one, but there we go. So I think I will be, finishing this one out, and then probably will be looking at it more once full release happens. I hope that the balance continues as it was here. I hope that they continue on with this format as it goes here. Again, doing the Darkest Dungeon thing, but effectively doing it in a way that's a bit more casual friendly. So it's nice. Also, it's a Vagrant army. Do we hear about their Vagrant story? Probably not. Probably not. Anyway. Oh yeah, and lastly, I hope that at some point your choice of which things you take will have some interaction with the actual faction system. Also, this doesn't seem accurate. We just established that they're kind of murdering our people, but if you say so. Also, we were positive with them, and now I guess we're indifferent. All right, whatever. Anyway. So, all right, cutting it off for the 5th time. Y'all have yourselves a good one. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.